Hey, Scamp, what's up, Noah, Jack, I believe, and Corn Dog? What is good? Yo, indeed. Yo, 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 yo. Just playing my account, um, at the moment. Cleaning up some of today's tours and whatnot. Let's go. Yeah, that works. I didn't watch it, Noah. You can talk about it if you want, though. I don't mind. Spoilers on the non-pay-per-views don't bother me. Haven't seen it yet, bud. What's up, Arj? How are you? I might need to put my multiply coach on. That was a bad hit. And we don't want to do that. But we're gonna do that. Let's see if I can come out of that with black match at the bottom. Okay. Purple up top. Fall back on. Gosh, this is a mess. You ready for a fun, boring feud? I hate steel cage rules. And yourself? Oh, I'm doing all right, man. What was the main event, Noah? What's up, AK6? Hey, Rules, how are you, bud? Um, what up, Mherex? I need Breaker. Yeah, he's a useful trainer. He's a good fighter in feud if you have a middle lane. Holy Cascade, Seth. Calm your whatevers. What's up, Big Show? How are you? Um, so Steel Cage rules, like I said when they came out, if the buff is significant enough to make up for the negative, it's really fun and encourages creativity. So far, the re-implementation of Steel Cage rules has taken everything fun and tied it up into a neat little bow and then pooped on it. And it is mostly, in my opinion, been incredibly not fun. It's been the opposite of fun. And why would anyone want to do it? Also, Extreme Rules is like the single worst thing in the game. Like, no one likes the Extreme Rules tours. You either turn one it or it's really, really annoying and dumb. And they keep doing the Extreme Rules, so to put Steel Cage on top of it is just a wonderful idea. I don't know what the thought process is, but you know, that's fine. That's not my circus, not my monkeys, you know? Let's see if this will do a little bit better if we catch some of the multiplies. It is not a good combo, correct. That might do it. There we go. Helps if you put all the coaches on. So other than that, how are you guys feeling about the game in general? Steel Cage, if there's anyone that's enjoying the second rollout of Steel Cage, let me know. I kind of feel like there probably isn't, but you never know. There are some weird people. I'm getting used to, I don't know what that means, Stephen Randall, but I'm sure you'll enlighten me. Were they dirty? I was just gonna check them out actually. So yesterday would have been much easier if they had fixed it. I use the term fix loosely. Cause honestly, it literally said in the description that nothing would work, so I don't personally believe that in the message that got sent out that it wasn't intended is accurate. I 100% believe it was intended because literally it said in the description that no other move would work. So, yeah. Shouldn't Steel Cage be offering us more? I don't know that it should be offering us more tier 6 medals. It would just make you want to play something bad, right? So, um, I think Steel Cage should be implemented better. That's what I think. I don't really care what the rewards are if it's not fun at all. We don't need more not fun stuff for rewards. We already have plenty of that, in my opinion. It's when the buffs outweigh the negative, and then you can play in a different way that lets you do some fun stuff and think a little bit. I think that's great. I think for most people, though, Steel Cage is just difficult and not fun, right? Like if you got a huge roster and you don't mind thinking a little bit, Steel Cage is not hard. Truthfully, it's relatively easy. However, I don't feel like that is the majority of the player base's experience. And like most of the molds, Extreme Rules Tour just punishes a small roster, right? You can't. The smaller your roster, the harder it is to turn one. Um, Extreme Rules, right? And same thing with Steel Cage. The smaller your with the small buffs. When there's big buffs, that's not the case. That completely changes. That's more my issue with them, is that for people that don't have huge rosters, it's very, 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 very difficult. Hey, Wet Knife, how are you? So it's just a bigger separation of have and have not with that mode in general. It's also sort of the problem with boss battle too. You're either in a faction that can do it and you have all the stuff that can do it, or you're not, right? And there's really no in between. So like if you're in a faction that can't do boss battle, I would assume you guys miss out on a ton of rewards for the boss battle event if they can't like max it and you guys get your 400 skulls or whatever's required to max it. And I typically don't like things like that, where like Showdown is kind of still pretty rough, but they're doing better now with the brackets, I guess. I don't know, I haven't played it free to play. But Feud, you can set the size of your lineup and you have a lot more control over what you face. And so like that is good for smaller rosters, right? Like you can play smarter and not have nearly as hard of time in like Feud, for example. So not much. Wet Knife, how you doing, bud? So I would like to slightly change gears. Although feel free if you guys want to talk about whatever you feel like. That's always welcome. Um, is there anything about this month so far that we like more than last month? I would be very interested in hearing that. You like Dom? I like Dom as well, Dirty. Quite a lot, actually. I think he's a much better card than the new Liv, for example. Sorry, poster, I'm on the official channel. Don't find me. I think he's a much better superstar than Liv. And he's super fun to use. I have really good strikers, but I still am gonna try to use him a bunch. Dirty. Definitely like Dom. Also love Dirty Dom as a heel. Like his gimmick, whatever you want to call it. I think he's great. It's kind of funny, but and this is gonna sound really weird, because this is gonna sound really, really weird. Dom actually put Rhea more over than Rhea was, which is kind of crazy. And Liv is way, way more interesting with Dom than she ever was on her own. So two of the bigger lady superstars right now, he literally brought them to a even better level. In Rhea's case, I mean Rhea's amazing anyway. Rhea's amazing without Dom, but I feel like he even added to Rhea, which is impressive. Like really impressive. I mean, like, yeah, is New Live worth chasing? Uh, when you say chasing, what do you mean, Jackstack? Is New Live worth playing the game? Yes. Is New Live worth doing your stuff? Yes. Is New Live worth spending hundreds of dollars to ensure you get? Absolutely not, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, she's not one. Oh, new Hall of Fame. Me forgot. She's not one where you're gonna be like, oh dang, I need her right away. You know what I mean? Um, in fact, it's my opinion with what's currently in the game today, and who knows, Lord knows that can change. See our truth. With what's in the game today, the technician Molly Holly's way better. And it's not even close. Everyone has Molly, she's way better than Liv. My opinion. With what's in the game today. Like I said, that could change tomorrow. What's up, Zandel? How you doing, bud? What are we doing? Just chilling, getting some of the stuff done, Zendel. How do I run Molly for feud? So AK6, the way I run it is, I can show you. I do have a little bit nicer stuff, so it's easier to run Molly that way. I'll show you in just a minute. Um, the nice thing is you can run her a couple different ways, depending on what you have and what you like to do. But let me show you. I think I'm done with this tour now. Let me finish this one match and then I will AK6 just so I don't have to worry about forgetting this tour. How you doing, Sandel? How's the orange orangutans doing today? They're gargantuan gorillas, I mean. I always get that mixed up. So Molly is hopefully it's on the list. There is the ticket in. It's being worked on. It's being fixed. It's Blue Barracuda or Silver Monkey. You got it, Zando. What's up, Mule? I'm all right, buddy. How are you? Um, it's on her list to fix. Right now, when she steals the boost, the Juggernauts lose all their turns, so it's actually worse. She's actually worse if you steal a boost right now. Once that gets fixed, you would hit twice as hard as you're going to see here on a boost person. But for now, you don't want them to boost because your boost is busted. Unless it's been fixed since last feud. So I just run her this way. I do have 150% strap. I have 1 gear for 2 MP, right? So just regular Fury 2s. What's up, Showtime Chemo? Yeet. The triple yellow. And then just like this. With the Juggernaut trainers. And coach. And 1 MP down. So then you literally can target the bulk of the ladies roster that are loaded in feud, and they're 1 short, and it's really, really simple. It's actually faster than Technician Flare, even with a swipe, because it's really simple. It doesn't matter where you put anything, because you're not blowing up the board 20 million times. And then you just put your stuff out, swipe, and then you click this and win. Would I run that without Goldberg? No. When they fix the buff, then yes. So when they fix the buff steel, that setup right there would do like 120 million. And it's super fast. So in your case, AK6, do you have one gear? I would run her this way. And do you have Rock's Finery or Hitman's Jacket or Judgment Day plate? You have all those plates? All right, then I would run her this way for you, AK6, and you can kind of pick what you want to do. If you have her gear with 2 MP, makes this much easier. Got this loadout saved. I want to save. So you can 2-click it this way, AK6. Put Hitman's Jacket and Rock's Finery if you want to just 2-click. And you just click that. And that. And then the Hitman's Jacket drains them just in case they kick out. Because you're not going to get the biggest pin at 22 million. So I would want to run it with the Hitman's Jacket. Right? But that's super quick, right? Probably make up for the loss of damage. In fact, it would make up, I think, for the loss of damage at Technician. I have no idea, Clay. Let me see if it's been addressed. How are you, Clay? I don't think anyone has brought it up yet that I see. Let me look. I haven't played those tours yet. I'm assuming you're gonna mean Hell Mode, the last boss. Nope. It does not need middle lane. Just needs one gear. One gear is 2 MP. If it was for yesterday's, yeah, I would assume it's intended. If it was on yesterday's tour too. Might have been asked yesterday then. I just didn't. Yesterday, I didn't really care to. Yeah, yesterday wasn't a good day. Um, so if it's on all of them, I would say it's intended. If you don't have, then you would use Cena, Showboat Cena. If you don't have the gear, Jack Stack. He goes. Oh yeah, dude. Becky Goat is awesome in feud. She's so fast that I don't care if there's not always a technician. Although so far I've never not had a technician. Um, Goat Becky is stupidly fast. I doubt I will ever play another Trickster unless they make one that's way better than we currently have in feud, because it's just so freaking fast. And you can tell I move my straps around a lot because they're easier. So who got the 100% gem? It might be on. I think I just moved it to Rhea because then don't need any plates on Becky, so I just move it around, whichever one. But yeah, she's freaking ridiculous. She's good enough. I feel like I could make her own at this point if I have another 100%er. Why not? Don't I do? No, that's move. There it is. She is absolutely my favorite lady feuding tech. It's not even close. Sorry, tech trickster. Red if possible, so filter. You guys, if you guys aren't using substats and trying to get substats, you guys are really missing out. It's not super hard to try and obtain them. So would recommend look for those red substats, especially if it's people you're not using a lot. Clearly this is where some of it went. There's 3% there. So like I don't use Seth much because I have a lot. Seth's awesome, but I don't really use him a ton because there's a lot of really good showboats and I have most of them. So kind of go that route. And this is like perfect because it's got purple gem damage and purple move damage, I mean, and red gem damage since their finisher has a little. So we'll steal that off Mommy. I'll have to replace that for Mommy. Um, Butch certainly isn't using this. So, you know, you get yourself an extra. Coda still your favorite? Yeah, not so much for me. I dislike trap people and lots of moves. When you can only use one, it's quite nice. Um, but I can respect. And it hits double what you see here. Because the feud moment isn't in effect, it'll literally hit double of what you'll see here. Should probably use Seth instead, but it's fine. It'll hit more than double of what you'll see on this, actually. It's literally just this, and you're done. But that hits for like 70 some million in feud because the multiplies are bigger. It's just so fast. And you need the moments, but they're not hard to. Well, they're much harder to get now. This is a point of contention with me. Much harder to get now. One gear is all you need. It was on the prize wall last month. I did a big thing on it when I did my Becky video. Why you should take her up, about how hard she would hit. It was super cheap last month on the prize wall, like a pittance, less than 1,000 prize wall currency last month. Um, it'll hit double of what you'll see with Seth, um, and more than double of what you just saw, because the multiply gems go up 12, and then you get 50% gem damage in feud. She's really good, dirty. You can watch the video I did. There was the buff in feud too, so I didn't like record actual feud gameplay because there was the 100% multiply buff on top of it. So, I mean that's like 34 million, and it's more than double that. So it's pretty nasty. It's just so fast. That's the thing. That kind of speed makes up for a lot. Yes, you would only use her against Tex, which is not a problem because everyone uses Charlotte or May or Molly basically. Like this feud, let's see. There's a tech required in the bottom lane. You're gonna see a tech every single time. There's no way you won't. You know what I mean? So, boy, that middle lane, at least it requires only Nikki, but 6-star silver though. Yeah, and she's terrible. Oof. No one, yeah. It should be Asuka down where? Any Asuka here? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I know it's any Nikki. I know. But the tech spot? I'm using Molly. Not a big fan of the new Asuka, really, to be honest. For the reworked Asuka tech. Not a big. Does who need plates? Who are we talking about? I might put Nikki in here to fill the slot, maybe, but Nikki Ash is not somebody I'm gonna fight with for sure. You know, I don't obviously don't have Abby the Witch, but it might not even be worth it for me to fill the slot. I don't know that I care. I would not use Naya any at any point over Bailey or Naomi. Oh yeah, Becky? No, she doesn't need any plates, bud. Becky needs no plates. That's the nice thing. Um, I have Naya now, and like people, I can run her the fast way, which I think people should, because the Yeet Drip combo is not the way to run Naya. That's the absolute wrong way, in my opinion. It's way, 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 way slow, really slow, and uses two really, really high demand plates. So like Naya, I still need all of her levels at gold. But I didn't do a preview on her because Bailey's way better. So two plates that no one really cares about is the Devon specs, maybe Liv if you're using Trickster Liv, and then the ultimate Heartstopper. No one super cares about that. And you run Naya this way. It's way faster. And doesn't take crazy straps. Yeah, the Devon's glasses. Yeah. Right. They are pretty much, and like no one's really using them. So the thing is, her finisher does pretty decent damage at 2 million. So you're getting like 6 million um move damage out of this. And then she still needs, yeah, it's fine, dirty. She still needs all of her levels, so you can add 10% to the gem damage, but look how fast this is. Compared to the other move set that blows up the board twice. Fastest striker is Bailey by a mile. It's not even close, Zandel. Especially with the middle lane. But this is way, way faster than the other move set. 6 million move damage, and it's 74 million gem, and you add 10% to that. No, Bailey's faster than Naomi. Sorry. Bailey doesn't touch the board. So that moveset's way faster than Naya. You'd add another 8 million. So if she's like literally 90 million damage this way, and much, much faster than the Yeet Drip set when she's maxed out. So Bailey, in particular, if you have the middle lane, this is why Bailey is so much faster. She doesn't touch the board. If you got a good setup. All of everything that I'm going to say depends on a good setup, right? That's but Bailey is actually faster than Naomi by a good margin. Bailey top lane is ridiculous, by the way. You can two click Bailey top lane for insane damage as well. Because then you can put EO in. But Bailey is just like this, and then like this. Here. So this is with the middle lane. And then without it, you put Santa in. How are you, SMG? Watch, watch, watch. I show you. I'll cover the damage afterwards, but literally it's just this, and you don't touch the board. So it's way faster than Naomi because you don't touch the board. So that's 2-click 68 million. And it's faster because you don't touch the board, right? So if you want to beat somebody, then you can use, like with more life, then you can use the other move and hit for like 120 million. Oh, no. Gooker is way better, dude. You... Gooker had 75%. 25% better. Yeah, Zandel. So without a middle lane, you replace Lita with Santa. Yeah. Without a middle lane, you replace Lita with Santa, and you don't lose that much. So granted, now do keep in mind this is 100% move damage strap, and you have to hunt the black move damage substats. So 8% here, and then the 12% here, and 17% there. So I have like 40% boost in the substats, but to two clicker, right? But like two click, she is gonna be the fastest lady striker by a mile. Oh my gosh, that's amazing, restate. Um, you would not do that against a super high life showboat though, right? But basically everyone else. So yeah. Um, and you can see it's still 63 million, but 4 million here. So I'm doing like 65 million even without a middle lane. Yeah, and she needs no plates. Like, she's the best lady striker by a country mile, right? Like, the two best, um, the two best ladies on my roster for feud. It's really, I don't think that close. Is Bailey at 1 and Striker Indy 2. Naomi is also very. I'm sorry, Acro Indy. And Naomi's also very close if you have good stuff. If I had Naomi's gear, I would put her in that realm with those two, but a little bit slower than Bailey. But not enough that it matters, right? But Bailey is my first striker lady that I use no matter what. She's my go-to for sure. Um, like my go-to technician is Molly. Raw will be Becky because you're going to see a tech for sure with this bottom line. Lyra's awesome. Yeah, Lyra's awesome for sure. Powerhouse is hands down Chelsea. Open slot. I mean, like, usually it's going to be, yeah, for sure. Xandel is just faster, more flexible, faster. So Oscar will play, or definitely do something like this is what I would do. They're both slower restate. That's why I use Molly. Yeah, they're a good chunk slower, so I just use Molly. I probably run something like this. I don't know if I'll take Nikki Ash up to run a middle lane. I use her against non-boost people. Oh yeah, Raquel can go. Raquel run the fast way with a JD drip and a yeet will do 70 million triple red. It not counting if you use the green and do choosing and lots of silly stuff that I would never do in feud. So Chelsea in a somewhat realistic setting, or I mean, sorry, Raquel in a somewhat realistic feud setting is going to cap out at 70 million. With insane commitment to stuff, right? Like literally very high demand, ultimate plate and rare plate, primary plate that's high, both high demand stuff. So, and she'll cap at 70 million, whereas Chelsea's top end caps at around 90 to 95 million if you have, but it's super whaley. So again, everything is situational. Um, so you can't, this is why tier lists suck, because on a tier list, if you're assuming somebody has everything, Chelsea is way better by a mile. But if you don't have stuff, then Raquel's gonna be better, because Chelsea, when you have everything, does this in feud. What's the counter for Chelsea? Multiply down. Okay. That's 83 million gem plus another 7 million in move damage. That is nice about Chelsea, but even with the plates, JD is not better than a bunch of powerhouse. it's really not hard to avoid reversals. You know the people that have a reversal. So you don't want to run a bunch of multiply people. The speed and the damage is way, way, way better if you have the right stuff. It's not even close. I mean, then let's say don't use Indy then, right? And now don't use anyone that has MP up. So don't use Lyra. The reversal argument doesn't fly for me personally because I know who does what, right? As long as you know who does what, and if you don't know, once you get burned a couple times, you should know, unless you're playing drunk or something. It's relatively easy. So, but you shouldn't run a lot of multiply people. You shouldn't run a lot of buff people. You know what I mean? Because then that makes it more difficult for sure. So it's a good thing to be aware of. But like, yeah. Jay's pyro reversal. Jay's probably the hardest one to remember because he's like the only person that reverses pyros, Telvin. Jay is probably the most difficult. And I don't see a ton of Jay. Restate. Run her this way against non-boost people. Because, and she's worse, right, with the boost now? Yeah, no one runs that setup. But run her this way, restate, with 1 MP down. Because you know how it is. Most people are barely charged in feud. Hall of Fame just don't use gem buff people on. And you don't even need to look. Like, that's the most common thing you see, probably, is the Hall of Famers. So I just run her this way, restate, and target anyone that's not loaded with excess MP. And she's way, way fast. Because literally it doesn't matter what you do. In fact, while she's broken, the buff is worse. The buff people are worse. But it does like about 70 million total between the move and the gem and stuff. So it's like pretty great and super fast. Way less dinking around than Charlotte blowing up the board 20 million times. You know what I mean? So I run Molly that way. And then just target anyone that's just loaded, which there's a bunch of. And once you get into the groove of feud, you'll know who to target, right? Because you'll know who's in the bottom lane. And just starts one off. Also, she's got so many hit points in a kick out that it really doesn't super matter. You can use her against a ton of people even without the MP down because she's just not going to get killed. Most people, the AI runs wrong, so you just know who you can attack and who does their stuff fast. Then you get the 200% buff and hit twice as hard. How are they going to hit me hard if they don't have MP, though? Yeah, restate. Yeah, how are they going to hit you hard if they don't have MP, though? That's what Edge is for. You also have a kick out that gains 20 million health. So you just literally everything is about how you use them in this game, right? So, for example, you're going to see what? Probably Lyra. You guys think Lyra the most in this spot? Like, what do you guys think you'll see? And what do you guys think the most common way to run Lyra is? This one, you're probably going to see, what? Charlotte the most? So if you have, like... depends, Charlotte uses gear a lot. You run red, blue, blue, you think? Trick Liv, is she raw? That's a good one. Yeah, you probably will see a lot of Trick Liv. So, like, she would be a good one. It's not red MP, is it? Yeah, green move. She'd be a good one because, one, the AI wouldn't use her right anyway. For one. You know what I mean? And two, if they're trying to run the reds loaded first or whatever, they won't have the MP to do it anyway. So Trick Liv would be a great one to fight, to be honest, because she ain't gonna do anything to you anyway. AI is gonna play her dumb to begin with. The Charlotte, I think the AI plays okay. May, I don't know right off how the AI plays her. Um, you wouldn't like fight Tech Asuka with the Judgment Day plate or something. You know what I mean? You're not gonna see Chelsea hardly at all. I think I'm really the only one that really uses her much. So Powerhouse, what do you guys usually see? Don't fight. Nikki would be in the top row. You're probably gonna see Liv, right? Most likely. And most people, Liv won't be loaded either. So use Chelsea every few too, right on. Liv won't be loaded with 7 MP, you know? So there's another one. Yeah, I don't know. It's not too difficult to pick once you start getting used to it on who to fight. You can really make fairly quick decisions, and at the end of the day, it if you don't like any of your matchups, simply just don't use them and then use your fastest person. That's what I tend to tell people, right? Like, worst case, if I don't get attacked with Becky, well, no big deal. I'll just win with my Bailey, you know? That's how I look at it. Uh, Steel cage rules. It is good to know that gems are going to hit 25% less unless they're green. By the way, Naomi will be very good this one because of the boost. So you should be able to 2-click Naomi without gear if you have a good setup. So that makes me want to use Naomi. I mean, fill out my roster. Because Naomi's worth it. We'll run Asuka here for sure. And I don't think I'm going to bother to fill this. I don't need red gem damage at all for anyone. And 20% war score, probably not worth it to me to run with someone there. So I will most likely run this and go with maybe something like that. Or, yeah, probably something like that. I mean, this is... My slowest person would be Asuka, who's two moves is all. So, and 267k. That's like super fast. You know? So I'd probably run something like that. I don't care about the Nikki spot for me, because that would just raise my talent up to like 280, and then I drop Naomi for Nikki, and that's kind of a wasted slot. So I probably would run this for me. It'll be super fast. No, I don't need it at all. I can use it, but I don't need it, AK6. I still do 65 million in 2 moves with Santa. And 65 million beats most people's ladies. Yeah, there's 2 ways you can run Molly. If you have a Rocks Finery, there's actually 3 ways. So Molly will never lose a couple ways. If you have a Hitman's Jacket or if you have a Judgment Day plate, you're never going to lose. And you can 2-click win if you have those. If you don't have the MP drain plates and Rocks Finery, you can also win by doing 2-3 matches and getting the countdowns out twice. But I like her this way. It's only worth it to fill if the 20% is made up. So under no circumstance should you try to get feud wins with Nikki Ash, right? Like, that is going to be so slow. You should never try to get feud wins with her. So if you slot her in that slot, it's literally not being used unless you're insane. Okay, or Nikki Cross. I mean, like, maybe that you can use her against bronzes, but are you going to see a bronze? And Nikki Cross is borderline even with really good stuff. Nikki in general, right? Like it all her best stuff is gonna have risk or use a sub or take forever. You know what I mean? Like it's just not ideal. Risk, sub, or take too long. So why do I want to use her? So she's just gonna sit there. So I lose the first time wins for her. Drip isn't gonna help her. Drip does nothing for her, actually. You don't need me to tell you how to run Abby HD. Congrats, by the way. But literally does nothing for her. Do you have the American made moment? If so, just use the row breaks. It's super fun. Otherwise, it's, you know, the normal row break multi finisher, blah blah blah. Similar to Howdy's triple purple. I mean, you can run triple. So the good thing about triple black is if with good stuff, it's somewhat runnable. Somewhat. Here, you're gonna have to do double MP trainer, though. Unless you, yeah, you have to use double MP trainer. And it just depends where all of this goes. Drip plate definitely doesn't help. It's ×4 multiply, which is not big. No moments. Drip plate won't help that. 2 more multiply gems is not going to make a difference. So if you have Leo, you could maybe make it work ish. Maybe. You're going to need Santa. And then you'd need Leo. And then you would need 2 move charges. Mellow and whatever. To be fast enough to use. Otherwise, just leave her home and use the open slot with somebody fast. If you want to fill the lane and not use her, that's up to you. You can absolutely do that. Okay. Fine. You won't need Santa. So use whatever zombie you want. Because, you know, you have no control over the color of the gems. Okay, here. There we go. I'm 100%, 30% strapped for Nikki. Lord knows I've tried to make her work a bunch, so. This is bronze. That's the trickster required. Survivor, hell mode. Yes, I'm aware that triple blue hits harder than triple black, but you also have to use a sub, and there's no way I'm putting somebody I'm gonna fight with in feud using a sub. You can choose where your multiplies go with this, so you're gonna recycle every time as long as there's 2 black gems on the board. So it gives you the stun, but then, you know, 6 million damage. So at silver, you're going to do like 12. Gold, that's going to do like 24. You also run into this where now you start to get less black gems. I can show you the closest Nikki comes to working. If you want. Because I've spent a ton of time with her. Like, as far as that was only 5 million. right? Like as far as a bunch of time spent, um, the you can win with this. It's just not fast. I mean, you could take her gold and then just beat up on silver. Right, way too slow for feud. That's the problem. So if you want to fill the slot, you go ahead and fill the slot, but don't use them. Is basically what I'm trying to tell you. You're only breaking 18. Because we only put out 18 multiply gems. So it says 20, but the area is only 18. So unless you cascade, Hulk plate won't work. It would buff red gems. Remove damage is not good. It's 280k, 240k, 250k. She was before the era when they all worked. Right. So you can use the slot if you want. And my point is, if you run that big, then you're not filling the top slot. If you're filling the top slot, let me try and explain this really as easily as I can. If you fill every slot except live, what are you going to get for people you're going against? Literally, if you fill every slot of this except for live, you are going to get all the whales that didn't get live. That's what you're going to get. So if you want to fill the middle lane for the bonus so you can fill the whole thing, that's fine. But you're going to run into way harder stuff, MP downs, multiply downs, people that get their jollies off thinking it might be harder for someone to hit you, that have nicer stuff and can afford to run more 99 MP people. That's what you're going to see. I don't want to run that high. So my point is, and what I'm trying to say, and why I wouldn't fill it, was if I wanted to run Naomi. So if you want to fill it and not fill the open slot, I think that's fine. It depends on where you think you're going to get more speed, more bang for your buck, you know, whatever you want to call it, whatever, you know, does it for you, right? We're going to go here. No. If I had top row, I'd fill top and bottom and forget about mid, probably. I definitely wouldn't fill all of them. No way I'd fill all of them. I don't ever fill a whole board full. You can, Michael Grant. Mike Grant. Sorry. Still call you Michael sometimes. Let's do this one here. Something like, so like, these are all super fast, right? One open slot, Naomi, super fast. 260k is great. Currently, Mike, yes. Once everyone has tier 6s, no. It's less damage than you have now. So apples to apples, when everyone else has tier 6 medals, you'll be doing less damage than you were tier 2 versus tier 2. Or tier 5 versus 5, whatever you want to call it. Because the defensive stats are ridiculous. Especially on move damage. So what I'm trying to say is I wouldn't fill this to run at 263k, right? If I fill this, now I'm all of a sudden at basically 293k. I don't want to run that. Because I'm going to see everybody and their brother with huge rosters. That's a pain in the dick. Zero interest in that. So now I would trade Nikki for Naomi, and this is a dead spot. So I lose my first time wins all the time to gain 20% war score for 2 people. But no first time wins here. So now I'm not as diversified, and why do I care about 20% on 2 people? Compared to, let's just roll with first time wins and everybody's fast and I don't have to worry about it. So no, to me it's not worth it to put Nikki there. If I was fine running bigger, then sure. Yeah, HD, and I might not even put Naomi in and then just run 6. You know what I mean? Zandel, if I was you and I had Liv, I would do the top and the bottom and not worry about this mess. Because I may not even use Naomi, but certainly I don't feel like putting, if I had Abby the Witch, sure, I would fill this and then not worry about the top row at all. But I cannot reliably get fast wins. It's just a dead slot. I don't need the MP for anybody. And I don't care about the red gem damage. And 20% war score on 2 people is really not a big deal compared to speed and first time wins. How do you find me and feud them, Eric? See, Mike, that's exactly my point. You can't. That's exactly my point. How many sets of tier 6 do you have now, Mike? That's it. If you guys, honestly, I can tell people that have never tried running a little bit lower. Yeah, I'm easy to find in Showdown. Uh, I can tell that people have never tried running a little bit lower on a regular basis because it's so much easier and so much faster. You just avoid a ton of nonsense. You only have 2 sets? That's more than the no sets I have. Once in a while, I won't take my own advice and I'll run big and like just to be dumb, and it never works out as well as I would like. You know? Once in a while I will, but usually not for very long. Sometimes though. You're of course welcome to do whatever you want, but just I would say be realistic with it. As far as Nikki, because I have messed around with her a metric crap ton. Because for a while strikers kind of sucked pre Bailey. Strikers really sucked actually. You should, Mike, try it once. As long as you have a fast partner, it's beautiful. As long as you have a fast partner. If you have a slow partner, well, you're gonna want to stab him in the face. You know what I'm saying? Um, the best I could ever get out of Nikki was a little bit cascade risk, and it was this right here. I got Lex, right? Yeah, Lex, Waller, and then Gunther. So this makes them blue, and you can target blue by putting like Pyro Princess and stuff. It is not ideal, though, by any means. But I believe this is the best I ended up getting out of her, because you could make them all blue, and then you could, Gunther helps out, stuff like that. 2-3 matches loads it, like this kind of thing. So it's slightly not risky, but it's definitely not Mherex proof. Then you can slap these suckers down, and they're all blue. Without using the sub. That hits for 10 million. We got 9.9 at bronze. So that's more like 40 to 45 probably at gold. Then you add plates. I can with a 130 strap, you can probably get her up to like 50 million that way. There's no good blue ultimate for multiplies or gem damage, but you could use get 50% from Heartbreak Plate. I think you could get to like 50 million with Nikki that way, with a 3 match, and it does recycle. With a really, really big strap, I think you could get there. Leo and stuff, possibly get to 50 at gold, but it's a lot to do it way worse than a bunch of other strikers. And you need really good stuff to get in that range. So that to me is her best move set. And I've played her a ton trying. That was the best thing I could come up with though. Lyra? I don't play for bonuses really, Showtime Chemo. I can't see a reason why I would care about the column break for Lyra. I run her typically tricolor all the time if I'm the player, just because it's completely safe with what I have. So there's a bunch of different ways you can run Lyra. I have a Devil's Drip on her, and I just run it this way. This needs to be, oops, wrong button. blue. So you can run it this way without the devil's drip too, and just the whatchamacallit. Here. There's two different ways you can run her. 6. What's this? 36 blue, increase your red MP, blue gem damage. Yes. Which all are tricolor. What's the MP on that? 6 purple. So you can do this with just a Tiffany plate. Just, I say. But this is the one tricolor. $68 million. Cool. It's not bad. But it lacks a little oomph sometimes, right? You know, because if you can not worry about health at all, it's nice if you can. So I just do this instead. Now. Tiffy plate, I have 2 of. It's not high demand for me. Yes, Raquel does. Need both. And this hits for like 120 some million. Column breaks, they're just there to get the multiplies. So, yeah, it's 126 million that way. So, you could just as easily, I suppose, use the Yeet plate as the Tiffy plate. They're going to basically do the same thing, same exact thing. They both add what, 500%, yeah? So you can use the Yeet for 500% with this build, or you can use the Tiffany plate. They both do the same thing. As far as I know, Yeet's also 500, right? Let me double check. I could be wrong. Yeah, 500. Oh, yeah, actually, Yeet will hit harder. Tiffy's only doing 250? For some reason, I thought it was 500. That's fine. Yeah, Yeet will hit even harder. I just don't need to, so. Honestly, you could probably do it without the Tiffany plate, too. Because you got the buff into the 7 multiplies. So you probably do it without the Tiffany plate, too. And just the Devil's Drip. For all I know. I just had the Tiffany plate on, so I haven't taken it off. Probably still hits. I would guess 80s, but I don't know with just the Devil's Drip. And a big strap. I don't know though for sure. But yeah. If you're thinking about using the finisher for Lyra, I don't really care for that. You know what I mean? Like you could, but I don't know why. I mean, like, you know, if you don't have crazy stuff, then you can like double up the blue. You can do this without crazy stuff. Right here. Yeah, red set, you can do 2 buffs as well in the middle lane. But you can also do 2 buffs this way, same exact setup, right? And do 2 blue buffs with this setup. This, of course, does have the Tiffany plate. So it wouldn't quite hit this hard, but, you know, now you got a huge primary color buff. So you can also do it this way. Depending on what, if you don't have as crazy stuff. I mean, that's 100 million. You're probably still over 80 million without a Tiffany plate or a drip plate. So Lyra is like very good anyway. You just need Santa to make that work. And then yeah, as you said, middle lane you can get the red buff twice. With Lyra, Lyra is like you can do so much, right? Like so much without having to choose because we don't want to choose. Where's that 7 MP? Here we go. And then this just becomes red instead. So middle lane, yeah, you can do this. Acros, second behind Indy. Here the plates aren't doing anything. $87 million. You could put the Valkyrie plate on her for 50% more. So like, yeah, they just like you can do a ton with Lyra. My personal at the moment favorite is really Rhea's really good too. She's after them a little bit slower, can hit really hard though, so nothing wrong with that though. Lyra can just do a lot. Do a lot. I mean, and you could use the Northern Light suplex with the E plate if you really wanted to, but you know, I don't know why. So she can do a lot. She's super cool. Super duper cool. And what else? I don't know. I like using the probably Tiffany's probably the least good person that I like to use. Um, so like sometimes I'll just use people for funsies. And Tiffany's one of those with the ladies. But usually, as far as ladies go, I use all of the same people, all the time. So like, I try and avoid using Charlotte or May, but I will use them. I also try and avoid using Trish. Like, so I would love a upgrade at Tech and at Trickster. Although Becky has fixed Trickster well enough for me that I'm very happy with that. Asuka is crazy 2 clicks, like 2 moves. You can run Asuka this way after 99 MP. She's my showdown defense, so these are on. But like, you don't even need trainers. Trish is fast, but not fast enough. She's my slowest. Literally, she is the slowest of all of the ladies I use. So she's the weakest link, so she needs the upgrade the most, Sando. Does that make sense? I think she's the best trickster, but Becky is way better. Yeah. Trish needs Royal Rumble really to get hit hard enough, and that slows her down. So Trish is great, but I'd rather not. So this is literally no offensive trainers whatsoever. So she'll hit way harder than this. But Asuka, 2 clicks, 100 million. And that's literally without a single offensive trainer. That was 2 MP downs and no MP trainers. So yeah, Asuka is kind of a thing. You don't need plates. If you want to hit that hard, though, you need plates. but you don't need plates to win with her. Live Red Royal Rumble plate is probably very similar to Trish with the Red Royal Rumble plate. I would say very likely. Yes, I would say they're probably very similar. You could get away with that. In fact, my feud buddy does do that, and he also brings the choose in case, so he can drop if he needs to, 2 gems around the edges or 3 gems around the edges. You don't need the hard time plate. It just helps. You can use the Z plate. You can use hard times. You can use no plates. Asuka literally doesn't need any plates to win. She just hits harder with plates. That's all. So I think Liv, if you have all of the moments, like the color turn and the other one, yeah, you can 2-click with Liv if you want, and then like you need to get those 30 gems to get the Red Royal Rumble plate to go, and her area is what, 25, 5x5. So you literally drop your color turns, and if the reds don't line up, then you can just use the choose to put them around it, and then click it, and then guarantee it. But you can't guarantee it every time with the Red Royal Rumble, which is, so you have to rely on the choose a little bit, or just, gamble that you're going to cascade. But I would put them probably pretty comparable, slim. I just actually hate Liv for some reason. So I typically won't talk about her, even though I could. I have her gold from a fuse, but I don't use her. You will have it happen sometimes. My buddy feuds with her. He's told me it happens. That's why he uses the choose now. So it will happen. Yeah, that would be the real deal. So Live with the Seance would be faster. Because Trish has to choose. Live with the Seance would definitely be 2 clickable. Seance in two moments. Yes. That would work. For sure. Um you also are gonna want to, what, the Valkyrie? No, you're using Red Row. It's too bad she can't work with the Valkyrie plate. If she could 2-click with using the Valk instead of the Royal Rumble, that would be awesome. Then I would use her. I mean, you probably could with all 3 moments, because her defense will be so high. If you had the new one as well. I only have the 1 moment so far for her, because I didn't get the other one, because I got something else. I don't remember what. But like, that would be dope if you could just get away with 2-click, but then I would use her. And the plates required are not super high demand anywhere. Yeah, Seance is pretty great. Ideally though, Showtime Chemo, you want to try and get away from gem chuckers because they slow you down as much as possible. I took her up for a coach, so I'll probably mess around with her in feud a little bit. I don't know what would potentially hit that I would run, but I might try messing around with it. Because these are so small, even with all the moments, I don't think it's gonna matter. So maybe I won't on second thought. I took her up for the row breaks. Because when I do play Howdy, I play him super lazy. Which, this is by far my favorite card in the game, though. Not because it's the best, but because it's Sammy. So after 99 MP, my boy. Yes, next to Sarge. This is after 99 MP feud build. Super easy to run. What's up, B10? How are you? 74 million gem and like another like 6 million in move or something. So that's cool because I can 2-click him. If I want a 3-click, he hits a lot harder. That no plates help the 2-click, by the way. So that's without plate assistance. I do have a 150 strap though. And then 3-click, which I probably what'll do the majority of the time. Oh, how many kids are in dance? You just go Lawler. It's 5 MP, so that's kind of nice. And then, 60% blue gems here, and then you don't need Santa, so we can just do that. So you can do that, or even better, if you have Seth, you just do that. 2 and 1 in gymnastics. Right on, bud. That keeps you busy. Oh, also, by the way, with Sammy, you can get the Juggernaut gem off twice as well. So you can actually do like 150 million with him if you care about that kind of stuff. You guys know I don't, but I can show you guys that moveset too. So that's 3-click Sammy, and then 4-click Sammy's like 150 million. 100 million on 3. And 4-click is just stupid. It's Braun, Kofi. Does it need Santa? No, it does not need Santa. Yeah. Right? So yeah, there's no reason to do this at this point. I mean, maybe I guess if you really wanted to emboss or something, but whatever. Maybe you really like the blue thunder bomb like me. There's 160 million with no cascade gem damage. So yeah, Sammy's great, depending what you want to do, how you want to play it. 2, 3, 4 moves. I love him, but I'm a mark. I finally, this last event, finally got 100% strap for Foley. So, by no means should anyone ever do this. But, if you have all this stuff, and you really like Foley, like me, why don't we have an Airwolf Thunderbomb? That's a great question. Yeah, 4-6, this is good. So I plan on using him all the time in feud, even though he's slower than what I have, because I don't care. So if you have everything, 100% strap, Red Royal Rumble plate, all of the jug trainers, and you want to do a bunch of clicks, you can win. Oh, I'm jealous, Sandel. Did he have a good time? Did he like Foley? Was Mick everything he hoped he would be? Move animations are actually fairly fast, but Juggernaut's resolving are never super duper fast. So it could be worse. But then the Red Royal Rumble plate resolving, I've already started to take a nap and fall asleep. But I mean, 82 million from Mrs. Foley's baby boy. Oh my gosh! He met him in the supermarket? Oh, that's really cool. I probably would have like taken my shoe off and pulled my sock out and put it on my hand. And then went up and talked to him. Anyway, I was super happy about getting the 100%, so I'm gonna have a mark out feud at some point where I just use people that I'm a mark for. In a dude's feud, because ladies, I don't think I have enough to do it, or the right ones to do it. So I'll use this Sammy. I'll use this Foley. I'll probably use Muscle Man. Yeah, that's Foley's best. Yeah. Hey Chris, how are you? Probably use Muscle Man Bray. Did anyone get him recently? Drew a sock and had it autographed if possible. Yeah, for sure. I actually have an autographed Socko that Mrs. Mherex got me. You want to see Muscle Man? I think a few people recently got Muscle Man, actually. Because his shards have been on there last month. The shards were on it a little bit. I was told there's going to be a Fallout stream. Honestly, there's a really real chance that there will be a fishing stream fairly soon. Zandel, do you have Seth and Nardo? Remind me. No. You got Andre, right? She 100% is, Chris. Yeah, Hogan Plate is a must. Hogan Plate is a must. And then I usually run... I try and avoid using Santa, right? Just in general. And the two multiplies on these really make it so you don't have to use Santa and can use other stuff. It's kind of nice. And so like I don't use Sherry and Santa combo near as much anymore. There's one of these doofuses. Yeah, here we go. What's up, B-Rock? How you doing? No, he won't. He'll never be a club option. Hopefully they'll run another turtle event, so you guys have a shot at getting him. And I have a shot at getting Casey Jones. They haven't said the turtles are done. I think we'll get another one, to be honest, B-Rock. I think there's still money they can make on Seth and Casey. So I would imagine we will see more. And then some people like the Leo plate. So Zandel, like, there's a bunch of different ways you can run Bray. This is generally, though, Muscle Man this way. That procs the Hogan plate. Oh, I should make sure that I have all of my things on. Really? Okay. You don't think there's another one then? One true, since they ran two? Usually they say they're going away, though, for good or something. And you can see it's really borderline Zandel of doing enough damage, right? So what you really need is the moment for feud. Don't know if the second one counted or not. Okay, fair. Like two unique ones. Well, I guess the second one was unique. So Bray is really borderline, and that's with a 130 strap, Zandel, until that's the moment makes a big deal for him. Because it buffs the multiplies a little bit more. Red gems do 50% more and multiplies by 3. So you will want the moment. Yeah, I would hope they would say it's the last chance. Plus they can feed FOMO even more with that, so, you know. So you'll want the moment for sure, Zandel, to put him over the top. Otherwise, he's just like a shade short. But this is probably, without Leo, that would be the only other upgrade. You could also, if you don't have Leo, though, you could think about this, Zandel, because I know you do have Sherry, is Sherry and Santa as well. And you can get probably a little bit more out of him this way without Leo. You're going to need max levels filled stars. Yeah, and now it's not easy to get. Absolutely, B-Temp. So first off, though, I do want to say, I find affiliation on Howdy kind of a must. So I would put an affiliation on him. There's multiple ways you can run him. I run him super lazy because I'm lazy with an affiliation. You can see that does a little bit more, Zandel. Little bit more. You don't have one? I will show you how I run him lazy. Because, so, you can hit for like 200 million with Howdy, if you want to. With the weird set that takes a lot of thinking and you don't want to do in Feud. It's not that it takes a lot of thinking, it just flows not normal for most things. Um, so I found I really like being lazy with him. And his levels aren't maxed, right? Obviously you'll have this moment. So I run him super lazy, super duper duper lazy with just woods and then all of the row breaks. 100, 200, 300% row breaks and then woods just to be super duper lazy, okay? This is an affiliation strap. Yeah, I don't have the second moment either. Just the free one. So you do this, and then you do this, and everything's a combo move, so it's slow. Now, you could chuck the multiplies again, but I'm lazy. So I just hit the finisher. This is with an affiliation strap. I don't have them in the wrong order. You can... What? You do if you're talking about two-clicking him, Mike? You can do two... What? Why would putting the finisher in the middle make it faster? It automatically comes up to the second move. That does not make sense to my brain. I did put the Pig Boy plate on him because I have a bunch and they're not used anywhere. How does it flow better? I guess on the last hit? Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I understand what you're saying because it fills it up. Yeah. So you can see the damage is borderline against somebody with high health. I get your point now because it fills it on the last one. I had to play it to see what you were talking about, Mike. I understand. Thank you. Yeah. So, because it automatically goes to the move, so we can just do. Because in Feud, this one, the 8 charge won't be loaded, right? It's gonna because I have 2 perks. So yeah, you're absolutely correct, Mike. Um, but this still needs all of his levels, and it's an affiliation strap. So this is the lazy way, the really easy way to play him. And you can hit the purple move again. Yeah, that's where I got him too. I was no way going to be able to afford him. So, yeah. No, agreed. Agreed. Way harder to mess up. And if you want, though, B10, if you want to play him lazy, but still need more damage for some reason, then you just put the multiplies out again. Not advised for speed, obviously, and then hit the finisher. And it hits a lot more damage. You can see there we zeroed Taker. Now the other way, and I haven't played this since I got him, so give me 1 second. It's the wording is really weird. I am gonna screw this up for sure because I haven't played him in a minute. Trap, snowfall, destroy. Row break. Yeah, that's what we want. Pretty sure that's what we want. I haven't played this since he came out. No, that's not true. I did put yellow LA bite plate on. And he hits even harder. But I haven't played it in a minute. LA bite was a long time ago too, it feels like. Mm, where are you? Why are you not showing up? You're equipped, right? No? You're lower MP, or lower talent. Everyone knows I'm blind, that's why. Have I used Cena on him? Yeah, that's because it's a feud reward B10. You won't need the LA bite plate though. You absolutely won't need it. I don't think even with an affiliation, it hits, pretty sure it hits really hard, but I could be wrong. I don't remember. And I've never played it with an affiliation before. Cena's got to be equipped. Nope, there he is. Okay, good. Yellow. Right, that's what we want, right? Yellow, yellow, yellow. It's all yellow. Yes, it's all yellow. Right? Asuka is really, really nice S, Mike. Basically the opposite of Liv. With what we have in the game now, let me clarify. It seems like a lot of times when I say this character like sucks really bad, they add a lot of stuff after the fact. Affiliations are hard to find. Yes, Derek, you are correct. Same B10. I got him strictly for the trainer. I don't care what he does as a fighter. Everything's a combo move, so it's kind of slow. I just need to make sure one snowfall at the top. Yes. This goes down here. Yes. Okay. And now one gem to make into row break goes down here. Boom. And then one snowfall to destroy goes here. With an affiliation, it's only 55 million. So probably triple purple unless you're gonna if you have a gem damage trap though, you'd be fine. Because we're losing out on a lot of damage. Hundreds of percent. Hundreds of percent. 100%. So probably. And then you can, of course, with the other moment, it chucks a bunch of stuff and does things, and you can do other stuff with Howdy if you want. There's lots of, you can see lots of videos of people doing weird stuff with him. But yeah, I like triple purple. It's just easier at this point. When he first came out, I liked this moveset more. Um, I was like, oh, that's really cool, blah, blah, blah. But it's it doesn't flow good. It doesn't flow well. Let me use proper grammatical. It doesn't flow well. To quote Mike, it's got bad feng shui. Yeah, this way works. Yeah, this one is just simpler. So, um, love Dom. By the way, guys, the braid plate does 100% work on Dom. And I think I knowest why. It's like the stairs facing the front door. Love it, Mike. Um, so because the juggernauts are not a part of the finisher, the braid actually works. Because Dom cheats, yes. So post 99 MP, um, you can Dirty Dom can do you pretty dirty. When I say pretty dirty, I mean Dirty Dom can two move beat you. So that's kind of awesome. He's also way better than Liv. Love it, Mike. Oh man, I want the Chemical X really bad. I would love to have the Chemical X. Do not has Chemical X. I'll get it eventually, I hope. Chemical X would be ideal. I think I could maybe get away with dropping the Royal Rumble plate with Chemical X. Can we just have a list of people who are not better than Liv? It might be shorter. Yes. Oh, that's not bad. You got the Chemical X? I would be happy with that just for Dom because it's super fun. And this one, like, and I quote, there is no way Scopely will make anything to ever make our truth relevant enough. And even if they did, and I had the stuff, I would never put it on him. That didn't age well. Who knew that they were going to make a our truth drip plate? And then a 500% to all of his damage. And then two 200% gears. And then a moment on top of it that adds another 150% and 50% to purple gems. Who knew that this would be my favorite trickster? When I said R-Truth sucks, I had no idea that this would happen. That's a low end. Almost one true, almost. I didn't make that video. Yes, I have both gears. Usually he zeros taker, but at Trickster, two moves is quite nice. Sounds like a video I'd make. No, it doesn't. Bradshaw, Hall of Fame Bradshaw is better. But it is awesome to use R-Truth. And he does usually about 80 mil. It can go anywhere in feud. It's usually like 75 to 90 million, typically, with two moves. So I don't complain about it. Really like it at Trickster. It's easy to run. So really like R-Truth that way. It's kind of stupid, right? It's kind of stupid. All the stuff that's on him, but it's still fun. Yeah, that's both gears, which this one looks dumb, so I don't use this gear. Yeah, no, I hate that. This one, though, I love this gear. Yeah, Chris, I wish we had a male feud because I was starting to talk about I want to run like a Mark feud one of these days. And I want to run I'm gonna run Sammy's 1, right? Our Truth is 2, Foley's 3, and Dom is 4. Get out of here with Sergeant Godfather. Muscle Man Bray is 5. That's 5 that I'm a pretty big mark for. HBK was my favorite growing up, so that would be 6. So I got my 2 favorites, HBK and Mankind. I got my favorite active in Sammy, one of my favorite actives in Dom, you know? Um and then I'd probably use the Dudleys. That would give me 8. I'd probably use the Dudleys, Devon and Bubba Ray. Because I love the Dudleys were like my favorite tag team. So that's probably what I would run for like a Mark feud. If the lineup worked that I could run them. That would be super fun. Because they're all gold. Bubba's gold and Devon is gold. So I could probably run all of them. Or I could just run Powerhouse Sammy as well. Yeah, that would be fun. Powerhouse Sammy would not be ideal, but that would be fun. Yeah. Dude! Tag team finishers would be amazing. Well, that's a good question. So, my favorite active lady's Tiffany. Rhea's number 2. So, it would be Rhea and Tiffany. Um, so that's 2. Beth Phoenix is not good. I don't like Liv. I do like Bailey. So I could definitely use Bailey. Because Bailey's one of my favorites. I actually really do like Chelsea Green too. She's a lot of fun. So I could probably get away with using Chelsea. Yeah, Mike. I don't know. I feel like we're wrestling fans, right? And we like wrestling. I feel like if some of the modes we had, everything feels so like time dependent that it seems like we just kind of miss out on like having fun. You know what I mean? Like literally everything is time dependent. Boss battle, showdown, and by showdown when I say time dependent, I mean you can't dink around. The slower you go, the more likely are you to lose your streak. You know, when you're active fighting, you can get attacked by multiple people. Feud just takes forever. Yeah, for sure B10. I could use either Chelsea actually. She can not ideal but could stun lock. So, and I mean, I guess I could level up and try to make with props find some way to make Beth work. I don't want to talk about it, Chris. I don't want to talk about it. That's when Scopely made me. Stupid steel cage showdown 2 weeks ago. Lady one would be much harder, Derek. I didn't enjoy the Attitude Era at all, really, for ladies. Um, so I didn't mark out for any of them. Beth is my favorite all-time lady wrestler, though. I'd probably use Bull Nakano now, too, when I get her leveled up. Because she was awesome. You'd be difficult. Definitely wouldn't go nowhere near the Bellas. Can't stand the Bellas. I like Kyrie a little bit, but not enough to say it would be a Mark feud. I am a Alexa Bliss Mark, so I could use Bliss. Bliss is. I leave Bliss out because she was gone for a while. I think I like Bliss more than Bailey though. It's close. And Rhea, Bliss, and Bailey are all fairly close. I would say Bliss and Rhea are like 1A, 1B, depending what's going on. Um, but Tiffany is my favorite. And then those two, and then, yeah, probably Bailey. JJ in there. Oh, Jeff Jarrett? Yeah, probably that. The Chelseas. Like I don't like Charlotte. Not a big Becky fan. I actually really do like Maxine, but she's still really raw. I like Lyra so far. Again, not enough body of work though. Um, Bianca's really athletic. She's cool. Dakota's not bad. Kyrie's not bad. Dakota could do better on the mic for me though. Roxanne's interesting. Like current active people, right? EO's really good. Like EO quite a bit. Um, Jade hasn't been very interesting for me so far. Although Elimination Chamber might change that because that was pretty cool. No, she looks like she was chiseled from freaking marble by Michelangelo. Like she looks like a freaking Greek goddess, you know? Um she's like ripped AF. She looks the part. Yeah, she looks the part. Kofi Michelangelo, yes. Kofi Michelangelo. She looks the part better than like pretty much anyone ever. But I mean, promo ring, it's got a long way to go before you know me, Chris. I'm pretty picky. I like promo work the most, and then I like good ring work to go with it. Because if I don't buy what they're saying on the mic, it's really hard for me. Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully, Chris. Glad Mella's gone. Did anyone like Mella? I did not like Mella at all. Sorry, anyone that's a Mella fan. And Mella, I'm sure you're a fine human being and a decent wrestler. I just didn't think so. Don't miss. I'm glad she's just, yeah, good riddance. Jade would make the perfect Storm in the next X-Men. Yes, absolutely. You liked Mella? Okay, fair enough, Telvin. I probably missed some of her good stuff. Like, I don't think, like, I think that probably affected it somewhat. I know she did some stuff with Truth, and I don't know if I just didn't see it or whatever, but no, there was none. Okay, fair enough. Kind of surprised they let Sonya go, but I feel like she never really got got over. Really, I guess is for lack of a better term. I feel like she just didn't really get over. Maybe it was she didn't have cohesive runs or anything. Not great in the ring. Fair enough, Telvin. Entertaining is all that really matters at the end of the day. For me, that's why I watch wrestling, to be entertained. And like obviously, you can have a very different idea of what's entertaining. Apparently Jade and Baszler have backstage beef. Baszler probably won't win that one. There's probably a lot more money and fanfare tied up in Jade than Baszler. I really like Baszler on NXT, but she hasn't been that exciting on the main roster for me. I don't know. She needs something. Apparently, Corey was a Mela fan. Yeah, you could say that. Apparently he was. So, anything you guys want to see specifically? I may end stream a little bit earlier today. Professor's not streaming today, so it depends. I need to pick Mrs. Mherex up, so it depends when she's ready. Boy, I don't miss Ronda Rousey at all. They did kind of forget about Shayna after Rousey left, yeah. I did, Chris. I can go over it again because there's more people here now. It's a weird one, honestly. We were kind of talking a lot about Nikki Cross, any of the Nickies, unless you have Abby the Witch. And like for me, I like to run usually around like 260, right? And so this is probably what mine will look like, to a point, and then I have to figure it out. This I decided was going to be probably, and then this is going to be Oscar. So here's the thing. Where are you? Bailey's got to be in the lineup. There we go. Here is the thing. 224 is not bad. Everyone I have is super quick. But if I add another, Nikki at silver is going to be at least what's the silver talent, guys? 32k. That puts me up to like 252k, and she's going to be dead. If I'm playing at 252k, the only person I'm going to see that's 6-star silver or lower will be Nikki. You know what I mean? So that's like a dead slot. I'm never going to get a first time win there. That's it. Yeah. Nice one, True. This slot, I really kind of want to fill because green with Naomi is 2-click. There's 150% green boost, so I can just 2-click with Naomi, and that's super fast. Or I can 3-click with Lyra. Like, 1, and there's a tech, so she's going to get 1 click everywhere. Tech. No, I don't, because I do 65 million for me, Chris. I do 65 mil with Bailey. And if I fill the middle lane, Nikki's dead for being useful. Because I don't have Abby the Witch. So literally it's kind of a dead slot. And I kind of want to run this. And if I want to run Naomi and have a dead slot, then I go all the way up to basically 300k. And I'm going to see all the people like Mike out there that somebody hurt when they were a kid, so they're using a bunch of multiply down trainers and MP down trainers, and then I actually have to pay attention and look, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to look. That takes time. So I really don't want to fill this slot. Thanks for being a good sport, Mike, if you're still here. If you're not, just know when someone tells you I said that, then they failed to tell you I was teasing and joking, which you would have got if you were here. So probably that, Chris, but this slot really bothers me since I don't have Abby the Witch. It throws everything off. So I feel like I either run this and have a dead slot, and don't run Naomi, or I leave this open, no dead slot, and run Naomi. What's up, Jabroni? How are you? You know what I mean? Because I do not want to go bigger than this. And yeah, I don't really want a dead slot either. And 20% on 2 people isn't a big deal to me compared to being able to have all fast open slots. It's just less frustrating, right? So I'll probably do this, I think. I don't know. Steel Cage buffs aren't big enough deal to matter. This is just like the old feud perks, so except worse. We have a worse version of the old perks because this would have been 200% before, plus we get negative 25 to everything else. So this is just a worse version of the old tour perks more than Steel Cage rules, by the way. This is just worse feud perks, not Steel Cage. They can call it Steel Cage. That's fine. This is not Steel Cage. This is just worse feud perks that you don't have to do talent up to get, which is fine, because who wanted to do talent up anyway? I can tell you if you saw my video, you didn't want to do talent up, but that's what I expected would happen. You have any questions about that, Chris? Or why I'm thinking the way I am? You could also sub Molly, you know, if you're not a Molly believer with any one of those two. I don't have Abby the Witch. No. If I had Abby the Witch, she is good enough, for sure, that I would run the middle lane and then drop Naomi. Because it wouldn't be a dead slot. I am still about 1,000 shards away. No, I have tried spinning the loot. It doesn't go well. I spun the loot to get Sammy. Yeah, I'm still 1,042 away from Nikki. Not much, Chris. Think about how much difference a 130 strap is compared to a 150. On most people, it's not that much. It just, if someone was borderline, if you're doing like 60 million gem damage with someone, maybe you don't want to use them. No, nothing to say sorry about, B10. Nothing to say sorry about. How are you guys doing on lift shards so far? Not that I think any of us in here care. It looks like I hit the halfway point today. I pulled him during said loot pulling. Spinning the loot. That's how I got Dom. The elite loot, I got Dom. So it made it a very good weekend for me. Yes. Z Chelsea will need the clicks. Yes. Oh, I hate you, One True King. You did not get him free. You bought feud steps. He cost you $20. You're a little over half. We don't know who's next week. You guys, do you think it's ladies month, right? It's a ladies feud. Do you think we're gonna get all ladies this month? The rest of this month? Like, you think we'll get Judgment Day Raquel next? That's what I think. Fair enough, Chris. Fair enough. You think we'll get Judgment Day Raquel next? I would be fine with that too. If so, she's a trickster, right? Judgment Day Raquel gonna be a trickster? That's my guess. And I would Rhea, if they do Rhea, she'll probably be last, right? Acro? Are you on crack? Raquel ain't an acro? I mean, not that they care. We only have one Raquel, right? Yeah, only one Raquel. So we have probably Raquel. And there's no one. We have all the Judgment Day men now, too, right? Since they did do Dom, but you could argue Dom fits with the ladies. And I think, yeah, final one is Rhea, right? Also, how are people. Maybe Showboat? That could be. Oh, yeah, Carlito. Yep. Rhea. Carlito could pop up then. Carlito could be one for sure. Would he be a trickster, you think? Yeah, or Acro. Okay. Hmm. Or Showboat. Yeah, I could see those. Am I singing? We haven't got a trickster yet. Striker, Showboat for. I could see Striker, Showboat, or Trickster for Raquel because she's a bad guy, right? You think it's all female and Dom? I think so too. I think it's all female and Dom because Dom's a ladies' man. Santino, I mean, or Santina, indeed. Hmm. I think there's got to be a Raquel, right? Are you working right now, Jabroni? Straight edge punk? Is there anything else you guys want to see, by the way? He needs an apple spinning move. That would be dope. They could just use the green mist animation. It's already in the game. Not now. I work 7 a.m. to 5:30 Eastern. Oh, dude. Do you drive the commute as well, or do you like take a bus or something? I don't think I could handle daily driving that much, like in traffic and stuff. I think it'd drive me nuts. Swoggle. I literally think I'd go crazy. You have to drive 20 minutes to a train. That's about 20 minutes. That's slightly better, I guess. You know who I really, really want? That's a total jobber, but was amazing. Is Damian Sandow. I want Damian Sandow with Miz. I want Mizdow and Miz so bad. I want that tag team. Al Snow with Head would be awesome. I definitely want Mizdow in the game. Yeah, Rocker Sean's in the game for sure. Um, somebody that I really want, like, I don't know. Ooh, 3-day weekends. That is nice. Yeah, I don't like when they do that with people we like on their first release, Mike. You know who I really want, but I don't think it can happen, but I think would be super cool, or will happen. I would also really like two people. I'll give you two names that I would really, really like. And they might seem, one might at least might seem weird. Billy Kidman. Loved Kidman. He was literally one of my favorites. He was my favorite cruiserweight. Don't know why. Loved him in the flock too. Really liked Kidman. And then I want Canyon slash Mortis in the game. Which is weird because Kidman actually works for WWE. So I don't know why we can't get Kidman in the game. Yeah, WCW Cruiserweight month would be fire. Also, a total jobber that always cracked me up is, and I would not mind in the game at all, and people are going to think I'm stupid, is Disco Inferno. Disco Inferno cracked me up. Upgraded Yoko? That would be cool. You knew I was going to say Disco Inferno, one true. I would love Disco Inferno in the game. How stupid is that? Uh, I mean, like we talk. As long as I've been streaming, pretty much everybody says in general the 2 months they would want the most would be an ECW month and a WCW cruiserweight month. Right to censor. I've heard that a few times. Yeah. Hey, Stevie Richards. I blame One True for this. Both Stevie Richards and frick, my brain. I just fell off. Raven would be dope. Are you kidding? Maven, thank you. And Maven, their podcasts are super good. I don't listen to their podcast, but I watch the YouTube videos. Blame One True for that. They're both really fun to watch. 10 of 10 would recommend when you guys are doing something you want to kill a little bit of time. Their YouTube channels are fantastic. A lot of really good takes, fun stuff. Yeah, really like both of them. Raven, I think, yeah, I think most everyone would be down with Raven. I mean, Tommy Dreamer would be pretty cool, I think, too. Obviously, um, I know a lot of people would like Sandman. You know, there's a bunch of big names from there. I'm still surprised, considering he was in the fan vote, that we still haven't seen Brian Pillman in the game. He might not. One true. He might not. You know, it would be cool because we could get an ECW Steve Austin too, because Austin was in there for a little while. So, you know, there's some big name draw for Scopely there too. I didn't see him at the time, Mike. I've seen a lot of post stuff. So Pillman is pretty interesting. Yep, Foley was too. We could get an ECW Foley. We could get another Terry Funk. Legion of Doom, yeah. I hear that one a lot. And Road Warriors, those two get mentioned a lot. Sabu would be pretty cool. Sabu's kind of insane. I know it's never going to happen. La Parca, yeah. La Parca was super good. Juventud Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero. Taz? Heavyweight stables. Who else was in the flock? I'm drawing a blank. It was Raven, Kidman. Who else was in the flock when they were WCW? I forget the other people. There was at least one other guy, right, in the flock? Why can I not remember that? Dean Malenko was pretty good. Yeah, Triple H has brought a lot of people back. Saturn and Conan, that sounds right. Yeah, Conan was pretty cool. Sick Boy, Scotty Riggs. Center it to. Oh, that might be time for me to go. Let me see. Yeah, Penta. Shockmaster. Great Oz, Shockmaster. Lex is so I was never a Lex fan, but I mean like he did hold a bunch of titles and stuff, so there's a lot of cool people that potentially could get in. So the thing is, would you guys say that like the people that come on stream and stuff, would you say we're the more hardcore um like or more less mainstream wrestling fans? Like because like it seems like most of us know the NXT people. We'd be excited to get NXT people in and stuff. We know a decent amount of the legends and stuff. Or like a lot of us don't really care what they are. If they're good, we'll chase them as well. But it seems like a lot of the people, I think they're worried about how they do. From everything I've heard, like Braun Breaker and the NXT people, like who are now up, like Roxanne's up, Mello's up, you know what I mean? And they had crazy trainers. People just weren't interested in them. Natural disasters are the fourth entry. So I feel like most of us in here aren't really maybe the best cross section of the game. Like, how many people you think just kind of like don't log in every day? Like, I'm pretty sure all of us pretty much log in, like, or very near all of us. I know there's a bunch of hardcore people. I've never missed a day. HD, like, HD, have you ever missed a day? Zandel, I know you log in every day. One True, Lord knows, One True logs in every day. That guy probably is playing while he's sleeping somehow. Only on cruises, yeah, right? Only missed a day when I was locked out of my account. Yeah. I had COVID literally on my deathbed and didn't miss a day. I believe it, Mike. I believe it. So I don't know if we're always the best segment. Like it's kind of weird. Like how often do you like this shocked me. You know how often I say like you can't do this without a middle lane in videos? Almost every time I say middle lane, I get a comment, what does he mean by middle lane? Like I take it for I wonder basically what I'm getting at is how much stuff do you think we take for granted as just like fact, or how does somebody not understand this? And like stuff like middle lane, I still get comments in a bunch of my videos. What does he mean when he says middle lane? Yeah, but no, but this is my point though. Like how many people, no, they're not from you. Yeah, I know. Who goes into feud not loaded turn 1? There was one last feud. I was running a 250k lineup, and the dude, no one he had was charged turn 1. No one. He had like 8 people, and no one was charged turn 1. What even is that? How does that happen with a roster that big? What? Like, people still have no idea how straps and metals work or plates. Like, no idea. I'm not talking like, just they have a little bit of an idea, like no concept. So I don't know. It's shocking. Possible, I guess. Yeah, HD. That's we all know who we're talking about when you say that. I can think of at least 2 people that will do that, but one specifically. I mean, yeah, that's fine, Stone Cold. Moves out of order isn't... I put my moves in the fastest order to use them as often as I can, right? So moves out of order isn't really a big deal. Some people play weird in their brain or something, right? So moves out of order doesn't do anything. Middle lane equal, you must have someone you probably don't have, unless you're a spender. Sorry, Derek. Yeah. So I just think there's like a ton of stuff that we take for granted that people just don't have any idea. Because you'd think, guys, right? Like, somebody uses multiply gems, right? I still get asked, what kind of metal should I use on this person that uses multiply gems or has a gem buff? Like, should I be using Fury on this person? Well, that depends. Do you want to hit hard? Don't use takedown, Like, it's really, like, some really basic stuff. A lot of times, like, if they're gem damage based, you want to use gem damage trainers and gem damage metals, right? Like, it's... And I'm not talking about... There's a few like really weird ones where you can run some weird combos and get like Tiffany. You can run with a move damage strap and some move damage stuff, but then get big gem damage. So there's like some weird stuff, but yeah. What about move defense metals? Yeah, the people that are only playing a short amount of time, that are new to the game, like, that's a different story for sure. But I do think, like, and from everything I've heard, we're actually supposedly been getting an influx of a pretty big influx of newer players, which is strange at this point in the game. Boy, that would be so hard to... Can you imagine coming in with 600 plus trainers and coach combinations? Straps, metals, plates, characters? Like, it would seem insanely overwhelming. I can't imagine trying to... what that would seem like coming in without a base knowledge of it. Pretty wild. Yeah. You guys want to see something kind of fun? Let me show you something kind of fun. If you got the Hall of Fame moment, this might be decent with plates at gold. Yeah, I think newer players should get a ton of help, to be honest. Like, you need the MP trainers, you need, the gem generators, you need multiply coaches. The fact that most of the X2s, a lot of them are free, it's really cool. Why am I typing in error? Steamboat. I probably, like, acro is not the strongest class outside of a couple people. So if you're looking for an acro project, or a legend one, this is kind of interesting as you get crazier stuff, because his multiplies get really freaking large. Yeah, Hall of Fame moment adds +3 multiply. So you get 1 multiply gems 25% from the WrestleMania, and then Hall of Fame adds 3 multiply. So Steamboat gets X4 between the 2 moments. And it's pretty dang close. So this is without plates. It is a hundo strap, but without plates. I was just kind of messing around with it. Yeah, it's weird he's in it, right? He just like kind of a one-off, like, yeah, Steamboat's in there. And Steamboat plays kind of funky, but he's an older one that could do some work, I think, with some plates. And I'm not really good at playing him quickly because I haven't really ever ran anyone like this. Basically, you put your multiplies out where the cross breaks, you're going to swipe and break. But times 18 is not small. That was 30 million gem at silver. That would more than double at gold, and that's with no plate. And if you're a Steamboat Mark as well, I think that would run. Because you're going to get the multiply plates to proc twice, yeah? All of the multiply plates would proc twice. So he is board dependent, but he is interesting. Because any of the multiply plates would proc twice. Yeah, I don't even know who else is on there. I mean, Angles multiplies come off of a sub, so that's not ideal. Bischoff is just really slow, so you know. But this is interesting. It's interesting. He is board dependent for sure, but I feel like because of the multiplies, could proc twice. If you did like, let's say Cody plate for 100% on yellows, and Jade plate for 100% on greens, that would be 200% boost on yellows and greens. I feel like it might be kind of interesting. No. Cross break, he only does 4, sadly. So none of the cross break plates will work. He only does 4. This board is like really solid looking. And if you had the yellow and green on this one, woof. Anyway, I'm not saying he's going to be the best acro ever, but it is fun and it is interesting. That was 32 million gem at silver. So I think you could win a lot of matches potentially with him if you had some good stuff. It's kind of interesting. I'll probably make a video on it. Yeah, you're basically stuck to that one line. Yeah, Stephanie is one I did a video on too that can hit really, really hard against who does Striker have class advantage on? I'm drawing a blank. Tricksters? Yeah, so Stephanie's another one similar to that. Not Jim Neidhart. Mm, that really depends who your acros are. I'm gonna say probably not, but maybe. Naomi Return of the Glow, is that the striker? I mean, women. And I think that's the striker, right? Naomi's very good. Yeah. So Naomi's really good. You can triple green her if you don't have super nice stuff and she hits really hard with an all heart. Um, if you have Rock's Finery, you can use the botch plate so they don't kick out. And you can also, if you have the botch, you got the botch slapped plate, which was the cheapest one. You can also hit super hard with her that way. This kind of thing. You got him, Derek? Nice. Very nice. Chelsea would be better. Let's see. But Charlotte's in my showdown defense, so. Yeah, or Hitman's. Yeah, Hitman's. I actually don't have that plate. The Hitman's one. So, Botch Slapped is great if you don't have her gear. This feud with the boost, I won't use the Botch Slap. But if you don't have her gear, Botch Slapped is really great, assuming you have Roxanne, you like 2-click, sort of thing. Yeah, that works. Just do it, do the buff first, and then I don't think you'll get countered by multiply counters, because this happens, and then the multiplies go out, and then you can't get countered until the next move, but the next move is a finisher, so I don't think you can get countered. But you can see that multiplies are like 8 million a piece. So that's like 64 million just on the multiply jumps. And that's 110 million with the botch slap. Does Seth require fancy stuff? No. But yes. Oh, don't even think about using Seth if you have Jacob Fatu, Derek. Jacob blows Seth away in every way, shape, and form. So yeah, Naomi's like, if you have her gear, you can 2-click. I do also have Buzzard's Beak because I don't have her gear to add 50%. Buzzard's Beak adds another 50% gem damage, which is not really a big deal, but it's on there. He means the new one true. Revolutionary Seth. Derek does not have Leo. 100%. I know Derek's watched for a long time. I 100% without a doubt know he doesn't have Leo. And that, guys, I think it's time for me to go pick up Mrs. Mherex. And I've been streaming like almost 2.5 hours, so I think I'll call that a stream. I'm not really going to be around this weekend. I may try and get a stream tomorrow in, but then going to the coast with Mrs. Mherex. So, won't be doing anything really champs related. I'm going to try and record a few videos ahead of time and post them during the days I'm gone, at least a few of them. I don't think I'll have something every day. Yeah, I won't feud too much, I don't think, One True King. It's the live feud. I can't, maybe there's something cool in the milestones, but I doubt I'll feud very much. BTO denied. Yeah, so, is a possibility I'll stream tomorrow? I don't know. And there, I don't think is anyone to raid. Let me check. Oh, you know what? There is. I'm gonna raid a guy called Premier 2. There used to be a guy that worked for Scopely called Jeff, Juicy Jeff. If you knew Jeff, he was a really good dude. Premier 2 is his cousin. I believe it's his cousin. Pretty sure. And I started watching Premier 2 literally when like 10 people would watch him stream. There's 1,200 people watching him stream right now. He is one of the best streamers you could possibly watch. He's literally amazing. He's sleeping right now? Oh! Is he actually sleeping? For real? Or is he just playing with his title? Let me look. Because he is so entertaining. Is it a rerun thing? Because he does a lot of walk around things where like he walks around Japan because he lives in Japan. So I don't know if it's like a rerun. Back at, okay, yeah. It looks like it is a rerun type thing, but there's 1.2 thousand people watching. That doesn't seem like a normal rerun. I've done a few. Actually, I've done a few 12 plus hour streams. It does look like he's probably sleeping, so it changed my mind. I guess I won't read anymore. That's fine. But you should check out Premiere too, because he's very entertaining. I did when I went to PDX Land one time for sure. And I'm pretty sure I did some back in the day on YouTube where I did like close to 15, 16-hour streams. Pretty sure. Actually, do I have time to look?